Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Oris ProDiver Force Recon GMT Special Edition, 49mm in black PVD titanium. You can see and you can purchase this U.S. Marine Corps Special Forces themed dive watch on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and of course complete pricing details for this Oris ProDiver Force Recon GMT. Now, this was a 2015 special edition released in honor of the U.S. Marine Corps' Force Reconnaissance Special Elite, one might even say peer to the likes of Army Rangers, U.S. Navy SEALs, U.S. Navy Special Warfare Craft Combatants. That's what Force Recon is. And again, being part of the Department of the Navy and having to share billing with the SEALs, sometimes Force Recon can get a little overlooked, which is why Oris has issued us a watch that's impossible to miss. Now, the timepiece is huge, 49mm across the broad of the case from 3 to 9, not inclusive of the huge crown and crown guards. The watch is also thick, 16mm tall. You can see that the dramatic cantilever of the bezel outboard of the case flank means that this thing isn't going to clear any kind of sleeve or cuff. Even on fairly loose sweaters and jackets, it's simply not designed to be hidden underneath other attire. But as big as it is, it could have been a lot worse from lug to lug. One might have expected a nearly 50mm watch to stretch over 60mm lug to lug across the wrist. Happily, it's only 54 from lug to lug, which makes it wearable on a wrist like mine, 16 centimeters in circumference. So this is a watch that you can wear with security and quite a good deal of confidence on a tiny wrist like mine. I would even say down to 15 centimeters in circumference. You're going to be able to wear this watch, but the look is huge, make no mistake. However, the titanium does manage to relieve some of the burden of such an enormous timepiece. Now, I'm going to show you how the bracelet works because it's a clever piece and it's a big part of the ergonomic success of the watch. You can see it has a minderless system, so all excess, you don't have to cut it, simply slides underneath the body of the clasp. It does have a twin trigger release, so you do need to open it with positive disengagement, not friction fit. It can simply pop open, and it doesn't use the cheaper clamshell closure for security. You'll also note it features a push button slider such that you can make micro adjustments on the fly should you want to size the watch for periods of activity, inactivity, hot, cold, or simply get it cinched to a wrist at the time of gift giving. A great clasp for a high-value watch is the best way to sum it up. It's connected to a very supple and very high-grade Oris natural rubber strap, which you can see has an underside scalloped out to provide a channel for ventilation of the wrist, allowing heat, moisture, and grit to escape on a hot day. You'll notice how nicely it tapers and conforms to the flow of the lugs. It's a very integrated look. You'll also note that it's secured with screws, not spring bars, for absolute security given the size and heft of the watch, even in titanium. Screws are the way to go. Now, the watch features Oris's unique rotational safety system. So what happens is you can see the ceramic insert of the dive style bezel. Now you pull the ring up, and when you pull the ring up, and I'll demonstrate how this works in practical terms, you can then rotate. Now you can rotate as long as the circumferential rubberized guard is in the raised position, but as soon as you plant it back down, and now it is, you see how you simply can't budge the bezel one way or another. Oris reasons that rather than accidentally shortening a dive, which is what most bezels will do, why not simply lock the bezel in place so your dive comes up neither long nor short? And that's exactly what they've achieved with the rotational safety system. Simply pull it up, adjust, plant it back down. And yes, ceramic insert with a loomed pearl. Quickly synchronize it to your minute hand. You have a 0 to 60 minute impromptu timer. Now, it is a GMT, but before I get into that, let's talk about the water resistance, because it's also, and first and foremost, a dive watch. 1,000 meters, it also features a standard helium release valve. Remember, Rolex forces you to upgrade to a Sea Dweller to get that feature. immense lume across all indications of the dial. It does feature a GMT function in true 24-hour format, so you can follow 2 separate time zones with the 24-hour reference time providing you an AM/PM distinction, and there is a date underneath the minute hand there. There's also a subtle signature featuring the insignia of the Marine Corps Force Reconnaissance Unit, and it's important because it is very subtle, so it's there, but from an arm's length you can't see it, which makes this decidedly overt watch tastefully subtle in its co-branding. Not everyone wants to scream Special Forces, even if they want a prominent timepiece of good size. Now, it features a very large crown that's easy to manipulate when your hands are gloved, wet, or sweaty, and robust crown guards outboard. On the case back, we get a little bit more overt, but again, only when you remove the watch, you see the United States Marine Corps insignia, the eagle atop the globe with the anchor and the rope. It's beautiful, it's well done, it's nicely engraved, it's deep, and it's memorable. But again, it's also quite subtle because it's permanently consigned to the case back. Now inside is an Oris caliber 747, basically a Sellita SW220-1 doing business as a Oris 747. Now what's changed? Well, Oris has provided a dual setting system such that when you have, let me get the minute hand out of the way, when you have the watch in position to set the time and the second time zone, by alternately rotating the crown in either direction, you get a quick set for both, and that's not universal in ETA-based dual-time watches. Having a quick set and the ability to rapidly cycle that second time zone is not a given. Now, in terms of mechanical specification, the watch has 28 joules, a 38-hour power reserve, automatic winding, bidirectional. It does feature a hacking function. When you pull the crown out all the way, you will stop the seconds, which are featured in unique fashion through an aperture in the dial at 9 o'clock, and you can stop the balance and synchronize to a known accurate dive or mission timer. You can see and you can purchase this unique take on the Oris ProDiver on our website.